accomplishments that make John Farley such a legend. It is no great secret that John has made countless contributions to the teaching profession in the Hamden School community, so I won't elaborate much on these tonight, as they really are too numerous to mention. Besides, it is probably safe to assume that most of us here are familiar with his talents as a teacher, which helps account for this amazing turnout. In his 37 years as an educator, John has taught everything from general science, biology, advanced placement biology, earth science, marine biology, physical science, chemistry, wilderness, survival skills, and the list goes on. I'm sure I've forgotten some. And regardless, year after year, he has educated, enlivened, and entertained his students, helping them in all aspects of their lives through delivering content, life lessons, wisdom, discipline, and always with love and respect. So instead, I thought I would share with you some things about John Farley which you may not have known very well. So to that end, I would like to introduce you first to Bermuda John, who only some of us have had the privilege of being able to work with and experience. He has worked tirelessly with our science director, Pat Fischetti, for about 12 years now to coordinate and run the annual Hamden Bermuda Workshop, and the mark he has left on the program and its nearly 300 student participants is indelible. So I would like to bring some of beautiful Bermuda to East Haven tonight as it is experienced by John. As I go through these photos, please note that they are not taken in the same year. Indeed, they represent snapshots of events from 12 years of involvement in the Hamden Bermuda Workshop. So in a manner similar to Where's Waldo, see if you can find John.
You guys need some.
He's right there at that table.
Wait, the rocks are falling. You can't see, guys.
Tropical gangster. Tropical gangster shirt that is. Same shirts. We wore the same shirts every year. I have three of them. I'm ready to go back. That's not like me. It's called the Lighthouse Park. Almost in 1998. I have three of those shirts.
I shortened this, I really did.
Yellow. I forgot my contacts.
Full Marys.
Hey, Jeremy, you got that picture too?
He's always
Sadly, no, it's over there. That's back to the beginning.
Taurus, there's a PowerPoint, you can escape Yeah, we'll get a plane paper on that. Okay, so did you happen to notice any similarities? Sure. Well, we'll get to the shirt. I mean, I, for one, was hard-pressed to find pictures where John was not pointing or talking, spewing his endless amount of knowledge about everything from Bermuda's discovery, history, culture, geography, fish, birds, flowers, trees, shipwrecks, you name it. It is one of the things that he does best, and no one but him can do justice to. And surely you did notice the shirt. Remember, these pictures are not from the same year. Apparently, the story goes that he owns a few, and he numbered them on the back, lest people think that he never changed out of it. But I don't know. If this is true, those numbers are long gone.
Jamie O'Leary number.
Now, John tells people that he has been going to Bermuda for 12 years as part of the Hamden Bermuda Workshop. His honeymoon in 1975 predates this program by about 20 years. However, a bit of research reveals that even this was not his first time to the island, as I was able to dig up a picture from his first trip. But before I show you this picture, a little bit of history is warranted. When it comes to Bermuda, John has two heroes. One is Dr. David Wingate, a former conservation officer and a Bermudian legend whose lifelong dedication to conservation is responsible for the restoration of Nonsuch Island and the successful breeding program of the native cahau, which is a pelagic bird believed to be extinct for nearly 300 years. So here's a photo taken a few years ago when John was finally able to meet his hero, Dr. Wingate. John's second hero is a man by the name of William Beebe, an American naturalist, ornithologist, marine biologist, explorer, and author. Now, to appreciate William Beebe, think Charles Darwin. Driven by a passion for natural history and adventure, a little more cocky, a lot more verbose, and a lot less famous. To some, John included, Beebe was the dude. Not only was he an expert ornithologist, a fact which alone elevates his status in John's eyes, but Beebe traveled extensively to, go back. Beebe traveled quite extensively, and he recorded his studies in prolific prose. The result here is a collection of books shown, and some became bestsellers in the 20s and 30s. I believe that John has read every one.
You have artists.
In fact, it is highly possible that you own more Beebe books than anyone alive today, thanks in part to the generosity of your son David, who acquired every last original copy of Beebe's books and gave them to you.
Yes, I have a case.
Now, a little more history, so stay with me here. Beebe is perhaps most well known for his interest in deep sea exploration, which led to the development in 1929 of the bathysphere, a spherical steel metal diving vessel, 4 feet 9 inches in diameter, and with a weight of about 5,000 pounds. The bathysphere had just enough room for 2 men to squeeze into and peer through the porthole as it descended from the surface. Tethered to the surface via an air supply, electric cables, and a telephone phone line, Beebe and his partner were the first men to explore the ocean at depth. All of their descents were made in the waters off Bermuda. Their first dive was to 800 feet, and their last dive, about 30 dives later, was to half a mile down, a very highly publicized event. Beebe and his partner were the first men to see fish that lived at these depths, and his story and observations are recorded in the famous book, Half a Mile Down. As I said, Beebe didn't make this dive alone. Just like other unsung heroes who are overshadowed by someone more famous, such was the case with William Beebe's devoted assistant.
It's the same shirt.
John, can you please read the date on that shirt?
It's 1934. I know who did that.
Okay, so yes, the shirt is dated 1934, and realize, please, John was in the thick of making history. Notice the similarities in appearance among these two friends. The shorts, the socks, the wristwatches, the random explorer's gear around their necks, the goofy expressions on their faces. And this chap with his hand on John's shoulder, by the way, his name is Otis Barton. He is the chief financier behind the bathysphere and was originally thought to be the second man in the bathysphere, but history got it wrong. Incidentally, when they were finished with the bathysphere in the 1930s, John had it donated to the Bermuda Aquarium and Zoo, as shown here with some former students in it. Okay. Something else you may not realize about John is that he is a wildly successful author. Being the busy teacher, husband, grandfather, and scoutmaster that he is, it really begs the question of where he finds the time to do so much important and influential writing. It is no secret, though, that his initial brainstormings are written in school, often in staff meetings and professional development workshops. Note that while these drafts are first tediously beautifully written in meticulous cursive and ink. The end results have all been published and are nothing short of impressive. In case you were unaware of John's written accomplishments, here are some of his most well-known works. Go ahead. Feel Good, Birds of Bermuda, John Farley. How many of you have read this book? This one is in the children's section. This is Animal Skeletons by John Farley. Please, John, look at the title and read the whole title. Silly observations, yes. Silly
No
observations.
such thing.
I understand. It is in the children's fiction section. There were several history books with your name on it. I had to pick one. Go ahead. A classic.
You're my middle name on there.
Okay, now, William Beebe did not write this book. John Farley did. Oh, and by the way, see the bathysphere over there? John is actually inside. He's fixing some fires, some tables. Go ahead. A local classic. Also from the children's section, The Early History of Bermuda for Children by John Gilbert Farley. How you kept such a secret is really astounding. Nick and Elena, don't you feel like you should have learned this in your social studies class?
Yes. Yes. I didn't know they were
Where can I get that one?
Okay. Okay, and the John Farley Handyman's book. Oh. Okay, now, coming soon, this one is not quite out yet. In fact, we hope to see it before he really retires. This is How to Fix Everything. Can you please just give it one more click? Okay, this is a reference for The Rest of Us, of course by John Farley. And this book is going to include a very special chapter on how to fix our Scantron machine. Because next week begins finals, and I don't know what we're going to do a year from now when you're not here.
Buy a new Scantron machine.
Well, that's not my part, no, is it? And so, these are just a handful of books that I was able to find in my limited time searching. John is a humble man, so there must most likely have been and will be several others. What he has not written, surprisingly, are any books on teaching. In fact, in perusing his classroom bookshelves recently, there were none to be found. At first I was puzzled, but I thought about it. It made sense. You see, John really is a gifted teacher. His talents and accomplishments have been publicly recognized. A few years ago, John was selected as Hamden High School Teacher of the Year. Most recently, as you just heard, he was selected as the 2012 Connecticut Science Teacher of the Year. So useless are books on teaching to John that he has generously regifted many of the ones that our district has given him us throughout the years. It is highly possible that some of you in this very room may have been the lucky recipient of one of these. Just an older one. Remember one, John? What? Thinking Maps? Marzano? Teach like a champion? Okay, so John, the thought of you leaving is absolutely incomprehensible. No one has the encyclopedic knowledge that you do, or the ability to BS well enough when in a pinch. No one has a bag of tricks even half as deep, or the ability to reach and teach such a highly diverse group of students, such a wide range of topics. I hope you find the time to read and write many more books in the years to come about the future adventure that life has in store for you. Thank you for all you have given us. Enjoy your free time, give away any remaining books on teaching, and take as many naps as you'd like. You've earned them.
surprised you didn't wear that yellow shirt today.